summer, summertime, summertime. Så du min, og jeg vild med dig. Summer, summer, summertime, summertime.
Hi there, Gemini, and welcome to this week's weekly forecast for the week with your modern shaman. We're in RainbowLand for the week that starts the 4th of September and ends at 12th of September 2018. And if you're not a Gemini, just follow the link for your sign just below here. So this week we have 7 signs of the week, just as we usually have. And the first sign of the week has something to do with your planet again. It's been in the spotlight for a long time, and now it changes signs. So sign number 1 of the week, first sign of the week, Mercury moves into Virgo. And Virgo is the ruler of your sign, and it's the ruler of Virgo. Mercury is the ruler of your sign, Gemini and Virgo. So it's at home here. But here it's more analytical than, in a more scrutinizing way than in your sign. Here it wants to organize the details, go into perfection with things and get them think about them in a very specific manner. And it's also about your health, your diet. So Mercury here is constructing a day-to-day reality and a routine that will serve you the best way possible. That's what it's looking for. But for you, it's in your 4th house. So here it's another story, because for you here it's going to have something to do with your home, your family life, your personal life, your feelings, your emotions, your inner child, and your foundation in general. So with Mercury at home, your planet here, this will take up space in your life right now. But it doesn't move until the 6th of September. So it just, as we start this week out with Mercury in the critical degrees of Leo, or in the last degrees of Leo. And here it's asking for you to communicate with the utmost, charm and charisma, and use, your planet being in the natural house, where it really loves to be and belong, to charm someone with your brilliant abilities to talk your way into anything. But again, Leo, as Mercury leaves Leo, only the North Node will be left here, and the North Node being the collective purpose. So in Leo, the collective purpose is for us to follow our hearts, and it also is for you here in the 3rd house of communication. So it is still until November, which is where the North Node leaves Leo. It will also be your job to just follow your heart and speak from your heart, think from your heart, go into your heart and find out where it takes you, where it guides you. Because your higher self will definitely be in contact with this, so you can't go wrong if you follow this. And it won't be back in Leo for 18 years, so this is a chance to change something within you, really, until November. So, second sign of the week. No, let me just say one thing. Mercury is going to awaken the grand trine here that we had last week as well, and last week's, between the Sun, was it before, but now it's between Mercury and Saturn and Uranus. It's here. Let's just take this since we have it. I don't know if you can see it, but let's just try. So we have Mercury. The moon is floating over here. Let's put it down here. Venus is there. Okay, it's good. So Mercury is going from Leo into Virgo. It's making a grand trine with Saturn up here, Capricorn, and Uranus in Taurus. It's an earth signs. So between your 4th, 8th and your 12th house, again, it's activated, but in a way where you feel more at home with what you saw the last 2 weeks, because now it's your planet going over the spot. So it's your chance to manifest these new spiritual ways of yours, these new psychological ways for you to be in the world and express yourself. Express yourself through emotions, receive information through intuition, through your higher self. So through meditations, through spiritual transformation on a deep level. Dare yourself to let go mentally and use the other forms of communications which comes from other places in your body and your system, this intelligent system that we all have. So then we have sign number 2 of the week, and that is Saturn moving direct. Saturn is in Capricorn, in your 8th house of deep transformation. So now you've been going over some heavy stuff that has been leading to complications for you, and finally, even though he moves so slowly, so it can feel like and last week, you know, with certain things and structures in your life, it starts to move forward. It's still passing the same area as he was before. Planet moves forward, backwards, forward, so it's still in the cycle, which means it's not going to be completely new issues, but you'll resolve something in some issues that you had. Concerning shared resources, it can also be deep connections with other people, and you yourself being in contact with the deepest parts of yourself and your desires. Time to move forward here. And as I said before, it'll still be in a trine with Uranus, and that's very good. And Mercury will touch it as well. Sign number 3 of the week. It is Venus. Venus in her home, in the sign room, I call them sometimes, of Libra, where she loves to be. And Venus in Libra for you is your 4th house. No, what am I saying? It's your 3rd house. I'm really bad at counting. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th house, Maria, hello. It's because I'm making 24 reports, 12 in Spanish, 12 in English, and I'm also having so many personal clients as an astrologer. So, I'm sorry, slipped. Of course, it's your sister sign, it's an air sign. So, Venus is in your 5th house of Libra, but she's gonna go out of this week. She's also going to come into a square with Mars, but I'm going to talk about that later. The most important thing about Venus is that this week, and also part of last week, she's in her shadow phase. Venus moving forward, backwards, forward. She's in the cycle. So in the cycle, now, a period has started, but she won't be out of until the 18th of December. It's a 3-month cycle of you learning something about your relationships with others, romantic partners, your children in general, something to do with your creativity, etc., but also something to do with your day-to-day life. But it's your relationship within these fields of your life that are touched here, because Venus is the planet of relationships and resources, also resources. So, you need to know that whatever starts, complications that may need to be scrutinized and that you need to go into on a very deep level, is a phase, a cycle that will last until December 18th. So try not to make things too complicated by reacting towards people, because the situation is mirroring something that needs to change within you. You have to be responsible for your own feelings and emotions if you want to grow spiritually. And this I'm sure you want with the Uranus in your 12th house. Remember, you make your plan. Your horoscope is your schedule that you made, not someone else's. So I'm not dictating anything, I'm just interpreting it as well as I can for many people at the same time. So the thing is that Venus is going into Scorpio in your 6th house. So it's going from the 5th house, your sister sign, where it's feeling lighter and more easy for you because you have been able to flirt and be romantic, or just release your creativity in a nice way, follow your heart in whatever way that was, take chances within your business if you have your own business. And now it's moving into your 6th house of Scorpio. And this is a sign of deep, deep transformation, and also the more darker shadow sides of our nature. But it's also your 6th house of health, daily routines, and work situations, etc. So Venus here wants you apparently to change some things. She's starting out with making a sextile to Saturn. So that is a very nice aspect to Saturn up there in your 8th house. Again, transformation on a deep level. And he's helping you structure it so you won't go all crazy, because it's not necessarily your field to be, you know, that systematic as Saturn is up there in your 8th house, but it's in a nice aspect to Venus, so it's gonna help you have a better daily routine in your life, daily routines in your life, with your health, with the way you eat, with the way you drink, the way you do things, when you sleep, etc., sports, work, routines. Yeah, so I hope she will give you something good, but you'll have to work with it for a while, because it's in its cycle that she won't leave until December. So just put good energy into it. You know, we get what we give, so give something good. And then we have the signs number 4 of the week, and that is the moon. There's a new moon in Virgo. And again, Virgo is your 4th house, your home, the home situation, personal life of yours, foundation. But first he goes through Cancer, your 2nd house of money, in opposition to Saturn and Pluto in your 8th house of shared resources. So complications here with your own resources can also be just your resources. How much energy do you have? Self-esteem, etc. And then she's going to go into Leo, 3rd house of communication, and awaken your desire to follow your heart and express yourself in the heart. She goes, and of course other things too, but here she's gonna go further into Virgo, and that is where she meets up with Mercury, your planet. Makes you a little sensitive, but again activates the grand trine in 4th, 8th, and 12th house. So sensitive in a good way, perhaps, where you intuitively catch some things that you need to use to manifest a better life. And then she will meet up with the sun, and the sun and the moon conjunction together means a new moon. And when a new moon starts in a sign, means that for the next half a year you have a chance to improve in this area of your life. And then when the full moon comes in March, you will see the results of the work you did. And this field again is in your home life, your foundation. So now is a chance, there's an open door in astrology. Whenever we have a lot going on in a sign, this time it's Virgo, Sun and Mercury here, your planet, we have an opportunity to change things, and the doors are open for it. It's easy, you have wind in the sails. If you wait a while, then the other doors open. This one is almost closed, so you have to use much more energy and effort. You might as well do it now. That's the reason for what I'm doing astrology, to encourage you to walk through the doors when they open and do something about it. And here it's about improving your home life, your foundation, through being more spiritual and sensitive and more observant of the signals that comes to you that are not non-verbal from the other side. Can also be, you know, from other dimensions, ancestors, your higher self. So we all have all answers. We all know all answers. We don't need astrology. We don't need nothing. Basically, we can all meditate and get in contact with our higher self, and there you get all the answers anyways. But the problem is that we are not that trained in doing that. That's why I'm doing this now. But you could train some more, because things are activated through Uranus in your 12th, really opening up, you know. And Saturn structuring you for you in the 8th house, Pluto in the 8th. And now also 2 planets in your 4th house. This is a time for you, Geminis, to move. Expand your mind and your heart. Open it up. The 5th sign of the week is Mars. Mars in your 8th house of Capricorn, in the same room, the sign called the sign of room. In this room, in this sign Capricorn, we have Saturn, who is not necessarily a pleasant fella. He's there with Pluto, who's also a little bit hardcore. Let me check if the camera is still running, because I've had some problems that it's turning off in the middle of a session. It is not, it's okay. All right. So, in this room, we have Saturn. Saturn is the cold captain. He doesn't care about your feelings, because he just wants things to work. He cuts to the bone of things, and all that you don't need is just stripped away from you. It's stones. Saturn rules stones and bones of the body, teeth, tooth, the knees, etc. And Saturn here, and Pluto, deep transformation, that doesn't care. He burns the whole house down to the ground so you can build a whole new one. He doesn't just take the weed, he takes the weed with its roots and everything, so that things can really change. So he changes you from inside out. Saturn. So that means that you might as well listen as Mars moves forward. Here, Mars has moved forward also from last week, but on the 11th. And the full moon was at on the 9th, by the way, and Venus moved into Scorpio on the 9th. But this is at the 11th, Mars moves into Aquarius, and until that, into your 9th house. Good placement also, but difficult times because it's cleaning up all the issues we had since May in this field. But before that, it has to go through the critical degrees of Capricorn, the last degree, moving slowly through there, going into square with Venus. Venus in your 5th house. So there may be some issues between you and a romantic partner and your shared resources. It doesn't have to be a romantic partner. It can also be something to do with your children. If you have your own business, a problem there. Can be many things. But there will be an issue where you need not to react, because Mars wants to react. Try to stay calm. Use your intuition. Know that the world mirrors you, reflects something for you to learn, not for you to react, because you just create bad vibes that you have to deal with later, or bad karma. You don't want more bad karma, so try to breathe deeply and be patient. This will benefit you in the long run, I tell you for sure, with this square. And when as Mars enters your 9th house, it's going to go into a square with Uranus in your 12th. So it may be hard for you to expand your mind somehow because you're trapped in something, but you may see new solutions to get out of this complex situation that doesn't allow you to connect with all there is and expand your mind, 9th house, the way you really want to. Because with an expanded mind, your whole life can change in a split second. Then we have sign number 6 of the week, Jupiter. Jupiter is still, of course, since it's for 1 year in each sign, it's still in Scorpio. It's making a very nice aspect, a sextile to Pluto in Capricorn, sextiling to Neptune in Pisces. And these 3 planets work together, and they work together in your 6th house of Scorpio. Can you see this even? I think so. 6th house of Scorpio, 8th house of Capricorn, 10th house, your career house of Pisces. This means that you have the chance, if you open up spiritually to the inner voices you have, where you know something and you don't know how you got that information, but you don't care, because spiritually you're transforming, you're opening up to another place you can collect knowledge through spirituality, through meditations, walks in the nature, etc. However you disconnect from your thoughts and go into your heart and expand from there. These are amazing aspects. Pluto will help you transform on a deeper level within you in order for you to open up so that you in your day-to-day life can integrate a new state of being, a new state of consciousness through your spirituality, that you can also in your work life, in your career, in your face in the world, the legacy you leave behind can be changed and altered with a new energy. And many people think that by taking drugs we can change our lives rapidly. Oh, I'm tired, I just take a pill. Oh, I want to expand my mind, I just take a LSD trip, etc. This is the shortcut that will always take you further down than you were before. For one day you are up, yeah, but you're going to fall just as fast as you went up. If you want something stable, you have to spiritually work step by step in your life to reach that point. As I was a teenager, I tried different drugs, but very fast I heard my higher self speak to me and say, hey, you're cheating yourself, you're borrowing something from an account by doing this, and you're paying it back afterwards by going deeper into the basement, and nothing there lasts. It creates holes in your astral body, actually. And we are in the health zone right now with Mercury and the Sun in Virgo that needs a healthy way to things. And in contact with Saturn, we do it the right way, not the shortcuts. Sign number 7 of this week is the card of the week, but I will draw that back home because I didn't bring the cards out here. And you'll have it as a voiceover while we are watching a video. Yeah, but the theme of the week, sign number 7, part 2. Very short this week. Crisis is your friend. Whatever crisis you come in or you have been in is your friend, because crisis open doors you cannot open without a crisis. The most important doors of your life, because they are life-changing in the better way. So don't fear crisis. Welcome them and have a faith that you can handle them and go through them, and afterwards be a new you. I wonder if you also went through a crisis and are on your way out to the other side after these eclipses. Thank you. Now to the card of the week. If you can, use nice magazine. Oh, a tree is falling. So they just. Whoa. That was well done. Impressed. You felt the wind? My goodness. So this was a really, really good point was made.
Wait with the store. Yeah.
Andrea, if you are a little bit on my film on YouTube, it's the different star signs. Is it okay?
It's okay.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Yes, I have a channel. Awesome, awesome. You are in the Taurus sign of the week. We are up here from Italy. He managed to take down a tree by his hands. While we were doing the report, he tilted it here. John is cutting it over here because he wants to start the fire. And I hope that he got it all filmed. So, Gemini, your card of the week is the Chariot. And as you see, it's a man. He's a knight. And he's in this chariot, which is, I think that it's actually the two animals riding it are the two Sphinx, who are black and white, like yin and yang. And they are symbolizing oppositions, but also harmony somehow. And the card is very beautiful. So the light behind him is bright, and the day is beautiful. So there's a bright day in front of you. There's a bright week in front of you, and you see his clothes are like protecting him at the same time as it's shining beautifully, and it has this powerful energy. And there are moons, half moons on his shoulders, and this is symbolizing that he's in power over the emotions, which are up and down, the lunatic emotions that are connected to the moon, the female element, the unknown, the unconscious powers. And in his hand he has a power, a wand of power, you can say. And the chariot is an image of the constant balance, the constant play that goes on in our lives, where you have to balance oppositions like the masculine and the feminine, strength and weaknesses, positive, negatives, thoughts and feelings. But he's in the middle, and he's controlling them, kind of like the scales, just and only because he's controlling them in the right way. So the card is actually saying that he has to be really on point with how he controls his life if he wants to balance things. Otherwise, the wagon will just go south or north or to the side, because he has to. He doesn't have much control over the things, because he cannot move that much in his clothes, but he's protected. But if he's in balance, then things will be all right. So it's inner unity of conflicts, and the chariot is our conscious mind. And when you draw this card, it's a sign that you have to balance your wishes by using your rational mind all the time, and it's also a need to combine peace and activity. And if you're drawn towards this card, which you are this week, it's on time to look at changes in regards to moving, to traveling, to your career, family and home. So some kind of fight can be out there in the horizon, but with a great possibility of having a triumph over whatever is going to come against you. If you control this wagon or chariot correctly, you should and you should have the energy to do so. There's a possibility to gain a great harmony. So decisiveness, self-security, self-esteem is there so that you can have success. So, that's a good sign, Gemini. So thank you so much for watching this week. I truly appreciate it. And remember, if you haven't subscribed already, that you can do so. And you can always leave any kind of comments here. I hope you enjoyed the beautiful nature images here. Big hugs from your modern shaman. See you next week. And of course, and by the way, you have to remember this. Don't follow trends, follow your heart. Yeah.
Summertime. Så du min, og jeg vild med dig.